You walk past the beast like it's always been there, and within weeks of ground breaking you're back to don't care. The tears in the earth don't look anything near what the lefts and the greens said we all had to fear. There's little to see, no choke in your throat. The drone is just one more inaudible note, and you still have that iPhone, the Saturday nights, the mortgage concerns and the no fancies flights. You still have the state-sanctioned stories, asylum, insurgents and scroungers to soak up the bile. A week or a month, maybe two passes by, with little to catch the unoccupied eye. And then a leaf starts to die, and then a plant, and then a fish, and then a pond, and then a well doesn't grant you your wish. And then a river gives little, then nothing of worth, and your body rejects what you take from the earth. Then you itch, so you scratch, and a rash fills the skin, and a stench fills the house, but you want to stay in because anything else takes that effort you've lost. But you'll be back to yourself in a week, fingers crossed. Then the stairs are a challenge, and the shop seems too far. Then you're off at half time and you're well over par. And then you're forced to acknowledge that choke in your throat, and you joke with the gaffer that you'll bring in a note. When you're back to yourself, in the morning you think, a good night's sleep and you'll be back in the pink. Then a child or a grandchild points to a pain, and a privatised health service strives to explain that nothing suggests any recognised link between holes in the ground and that blood in your sink. Then the sickness takes root, and that once vibrant being lies mute as you watch the young spirit fleeing a scene that you still don't believe can be caused by a process watched over by guidelines and laws. Then you read and you reread that pamphlet and pore over diagrams, hoping this time there'll be more light upon which you've not seen before now. But that dark's woven in, you're not meant to know how. Then a penny descends with a heart-stopping chime. A self-serving law wraps a bow around crime. Then every word fans a rage that you've never known. Every routine condolence feeds a seed long since sown. Then nobody listens, and you're just one more crank, because it can't be the mayor, the PM or the banks, because no institution that wields that much clout would ever take bungs to hand licences out. Then nobody listens, because like you before, they're entranced by that C-lister drunk on the floor, and that man's shoddy suit, he shouldn't be there among lords and leaders and millionaires. Then it's too late to proclaim your concern, too late to make good on a harsh lesson learned. Then the boardrooms are free to strip this sceptred aisle bare, because you walk past that beast like it's always been there.
Welcome to my Darfield. It's quiet, almost nonchalant at the east end of Barnsley. The poorer end, many would argue, if measured in terms of pounds, shillings and pence. It's certainly the end less healthy, the end where the chances are you'll die earlier than friends or family living at t'other end. Still, I'll take me chances. I love my Darfield, and you know what? It loves me back every time I step out of my front door. Every time I hear church bells, every time I hear the knock of leather and willer, this Englishman by birth is reminded that I'm Darfield by the good grace of chance, circumstance, and my dad having a twinkle for me mum. Debates over beer often circle the history of Darfield. When did bridge come down? If Maurice Dobson were alive today, how old would he be? Who owned first coloured telly in North Street? Buried in Darfield churchyard, who was the Corn Law rhymer? Now there's a man. Ebenezer Elliott, a botanist, one of 11 children, politically a chartist, a poet for the people, a voice for the struggling classes. The Yorkshire Burns, someone once said. I wonder what Ebenezer will be thinking now as the health of our highways, byways, waterways and the people that love them is compromised. Once again the word of the people is disregarded and stands for bugger all, and the collective voices of many is smothered by a profiteering few. When wilt thou save the people, O God of mercy, when? Not kings and lords, but nations. Not thrones and crowns, but men. Ebenezer Elliott, The People's Anthem, 1848.
A wind farm popped up almost overnight. 3 towers topped off by huge gyrating sails. They dominate for miles, an awesome sight, proliferating in our hills and dales. Clean power comes at a price, it's plain to see. Though some enjoy the blade's hypnotic lure, others call them insults to the eye, a slight our precious landscape must endure. They dwarf the spoil heap where I often stand, the closest thing that we could call a hill. They subjugate the skyline, shade the land. The blades sing harshly, rarely growing still. But though the wind farms multiply each year, intrude upon our view and cause upset, in truth they are a minor cross to bear, and what you see is mostly what you get. Above the ground and there for all to see, they work in ways that we can understand. No hidden past, no poisonous legacy, no doubts, no scares, and nothing underhand. No forcing tainted fluids underground, no pressurizing cracks in rock and stone. No guarantee that fracking wells are sound. For us they are the great unknown unknown.